Boys, it's February 4th today, and as we're reading through the Ten Commandments today, and then Matthew has Jesus saying, "Woe to the scribes and the Pharisees for their understanding of the law." Something came to my mind that I just wanted to talk about for a few minutes here, and I was just reflecting on why it is that we, maybe more I than others, but apparently we, because Scripture talks about it a lot. Why do we struggle so much with our relationship to the law? And obviously, behind that is our relationship with God and His right to rule over us, His sovereignty in our lives, His instructions to us. Why is that so burdensome or wearying to us? And I was reflecting on some time in Russia where we had to do a lot of paperwork. There was a lot of times we'd have to go down to an office and all appear there and hand in some paperwork, or we'd have to go by doctor's offices and get tests done. Some of you probably remember that. Maybe get a shot or get blood drawn or all these things. And it seemed like it was just such a hassle. And particularly when you were dealing with people who didn't know you, weren't interested in knowing you, kind of just saw you as another person that they had to deal with that day, and it just seems really impersonal, right? That these do's and don'ts, they don't really take into account that I'm an individual and that I have my own circumstances, and sometimes those laws don't really apply in the same way to me that they do to others. And so I guess we have that tendency to look at God's law that way too and think, oh, this is just impersonal. He's just saying everybody ought to do this, everybody ought to not do this. And I think we fail to understand that it's really given in the context of a personal relationship, though. That God actually does know what is best, that He does know us personally and seek after us personally, that He has actually rescued us each individually as well as corporately from slavery, as it talks about there in Exodus, but from slavery to sin and death that we experience too. And so I think when Jesus is talking to the Pharisees and saying, woe to you, you hypocrites, he's saying that they are treating that law impersonally as well, that they're enforcing it for others, but maybe not, well, certainly not their own heart involved in that, or really having compassion on the people that they're ministering to. And God doesn't fail to have compassion on us when He gives us instruction. It might seem impersonal to us, but I think Proverbs really helps to bring the right tone to that and to an Old Testament understanding from that Proverbs passage that we had for today. It said, "My son, keep my words and store up my commands within you. Keep my commands and you will live. Guard my teachings as the apple of your eye." The apple of the eye is not something that's going to be burdensome, right? It's something that's wonderful. "Bind them on your fingers, write them on the tablet of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and to insight, you are my relative. They will keep you from the adulterous woman, from the wayward woman with her seductive words." There's obviously a direct application here to adultery or sexual sin, but what I think is important is that it's a relationship between a father and a son, right? It's a father lovingly telling his son what are the best things for him and how he will live because of that, and that these are supposed to be on your fingers and on the heart as well. So we've been talking about it a lot. The heart is the key to understanding relationship with God, His heart for us, and then our heart for Him that then desires to be in obedience to Him because of all the grace and mercy that He's shown to us as well. So remember that the law isn't impersonal, that it's meant to be personal and it reflects a personal relationship that you have with God. So it's a joy to reflect on the law and instruction for us, not a burden. All right, that's it for today.